A tired city bus driver quietly pays for a grandmother's fare after a tense standoff when her card fails and a commuter snaps. The driver's choice breaks an icy mood and reveals modest hidden burdens on both sides, including a clinic appointment card and a reminder about an inhaler refill. In the days after, small acts echo the moment, including an unexpected coffee from the same impatient commuter and passengers moving with new care. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And, hey, where are you tuning in from? Leave your country in the comments. I love seeing how far these stories reach. The driver flicked on the interior lights at 5:42 a.m. He liked to be early. The bus smelled like rubber and old coffee. He pulled on thin gloves. His knee ached the way it did when the weather turned. He checked the mirrors, then the small photo taped by the dash. A kid with a missing tooth, holding a paper star. The heater coughed. The dark glass of the depot showed his face back at him, a blur in a navy cap. He opened the doors to cold air and quiet, and no one met his eyes. A man in a hard hat climbed on. A woman with her hood up, a student with wet hair and a giant backpack. Coins clinked. Cards beeped. He said morning in the same soft way, and the words went into the bus and did not come back. The first stop always felt like a held breath. The streetlights hummed. Frost etched the railing by the steps. He took the route out to Maple. Shallow potholes thumped under the tires. The city was a set he knew by heart. Same barbershop sign. Same stray cat by the tire shop. An open bakery door sent out a warm sugar smell at Elm. And he watched heads turn and then look away. At Maple and 3rd, the card reader chirped red. The sound was sharp, not the welcome green chirp. The red chirp meant delay. It meant someone had to fumble while people watched. The woman at the front held a worn canvas tote to her chest. Her gloves had no fingers. She tapped her card again. Red. She pulled out a plastic coin purse that had once been clear and was now fog. She was breathing fast, and her breath made a small cloud in front of her mouth. A man in a slate suit clicked his tongue. He checked his watch in a way that was for everyone else to see. "Come on," he said. Not loud. Heavy, like a door. The student with a backpack looked down at her phone. The hard-hat man shifted his weight, and the bus sighed. Outside, a jay hopped on the curb and pecked at a gum wrapper. "I'm sorry," the woman said to the air. She dropped a coin, and it rolled under the step. She tried to bend, and the tote banged her knee. "I loaded it." "I did." It said it loaded. The driver set the parking brake and stood. He knew the sign by the fare box. It said in bold letters, "Operators shall not pay fares." He could feel the little dome of the camera above his head like an extra sun. He could hear his supervisor's voice from orientation from the slide deck with the red X over a photo of a driver holding cash. He also knew the clock. He knew his own schedule, tight like a drum. The suit man tapped his shoe. The woman dug again in the fogged plastic, eyes shiny. He tapped his own card to the reader. He had enough on it for his coffee and a muffin later, and the sound it made when the money left surprised him. He hit the button for a day pass, the kind that prints out like a movie ticket. The little printer whirred, struggling, as if it had to wake up too. He slid the pass toward the woman. "You're good," he said. His voice came out steady, like he had done this 1,000 times. The bus went so quiet, the heater fan sounded loud. The woman stopped moving. She didn't touch the pass right away. Then she took it with both hands like paper could bruise. She blinked fast and nodded quick, as if she had to keep to a schedule she hadn't set. The suit man looked at the window, which showed him and the dark street looking back. The student shifted her backpack and pushed it to the floor to make room. The driver sat again. His knee complained. He released the brake. He took the corner slow because the street was slick at that hour, and because it felt right to let the new thin, quiet settle. The bus was a long room with 30 lives in it. Someone sneezed. Someone texted, thumbs flying. She took a seat by the window and stared at her hands. Her gloves looked knit by a person, not a store. The fingertips were frayed where her nails pressed through. The day pass lay on top of her tote, face up, the ink still damp. The little numbers said what it cost. The driver didn't look at her again in the mirror for a few stops. He watched his lane lines. He watched the light on the corner go from red to green like it always did. At the next red, his phone lit up with a calendar reminder. It was a small rectangle that slid from the top of the screen, locked in place by policy, but the words still showed. "Call pharmacy by 6:30 for inhaler refill." He thumbed the side button to make it go away. He thought of the copay. He thought of the extra shift he had added on Saturday and how it would push him into 12 days without a real day off. He thought of the photo by the dash and the way the kid had laughed when the paper star fell off the tree and into the mashed potatoes. When she stood to exit, a pink appointment card slipped out. It fell from the tote and landed on the floor by the door. It flipped once and landed print up. He saw the word clinic and a date written in tight script. The card had a line for a time. It said 6:15 a.m. She picked it up quick, like it was something private, and slid it back under the tote handle. She didn't look at him. He didn't look at her. She pressed the yellow strip to request a stop. The bell dinged. The doors hissed open. She paused on the platform as if the curb were higher than usual, then stepped down and disappeared into a slice of light between a laundromat and a closed nail salon. The bus rolled on. Morning took a slow breath and pushed a grey band up the sky. The heater rattled, then cleared its throat. He made his turns. He lifted a hand at the other route drivers when their paths crossed, a small flick that meant still here. Later that week, two small things changed. Not the city, not the way the bus leaned into corners, not his knee, but small things. Enough to make a person stand a little different at the wheel. A college kid in a hoodie rose before anyone asked. She stood when an older man climbed on with a cane and pinched his lips like he didn't want help. She pointed to her seat like it wasn't even hers, and gripped the bar as the bus started again. Her headphones were still around her neck. They leaked a soft drum beat. She smiled at the air, not at anyone. The suit from Monday, bordered with a paper cup and a stiff nod. He held the cup out like a peace offering, awkward, the way kids hold a frog they are not sure about. The driver took it. It was black coffee. No one said anything about Monday. The suit paid twice. No speech. He sat next to the window, and when a stroller jammed near the middle door, he stood and lifted the front wheel over the lip with two careful hands. Someone taped a short note by the fare box. It was written in block letters on a scrap torn from a brown bag. It said, "Thanks for being kind on cold mornings." It did not have a name. The tape had two air bubbles in it and one dog hair. The company sticker that said operators shall not pay fares was still there, still bright. He didn't save the world, he just stopped the bus for a minute. He stopped it long enough for one person to catch up. That was all. The day still had potholes. People still ran for the back when the rain started, still forgot their umbrellas, still left coffee cups and wrappers under seats. But when the red chirp hit again on Thursday, the person behind didn't sigh loud. They shifted to get the sunlight off the reader. The student moved her foot so the coin could roll back to the front. On Friday, between stops, he took the old day pass from the printed tray. The date was still visible. He kept it by the photo just to hold its little rectangle weight for a while. He thought of how small things tilt a day. A carved number on a plastic card. $1 or $2 moving from one pocket to nothing. He drove through the morning like always. He eased past a school where a crossing guard waved her big orange hand. He eased past a diner where a cook leaned on the back door and smoked, eyes closed to the steam. He eased past a bus stop where a kid in a blue hoodie bounced a ball off a knee and failed, laughing at the way it went into the gutter. He made a left where the sun lived and the windshield filled with it, and he squinted and smiled because his kid always said the bus was a dragon and the road was a bright river, and now it felt like it. He didn't think about the camera dome then, or the sign with the rules. He thought about knees that ache and hands that shake, and the way a bus can be a shelter for 15 minutes if someone lets it. He thought about the hard parts under other coats, the pink cards, the calendars that talk, the way coffee handed over can be both apology and map. At the last turn before downtown, the sun caught the ticket stub on the dash. It made the paper flash for a second like a fish underwater. The city opened ahead, windows lighting up one by one. He rolled the wheel with one palm and lined up his bus with the curb. Steady. In the mirror, a row of faces shifted forward together like waves. He touched the edge of the stub with his gloved finger. Then he opened the doors to the morning and let the day on.